Yes. Because next we have Nana. She's currently a senior at the International School of Sacred Heart, and she's going to introduce to us the situation and lack of support for the LGBTQ plus community in Japan right now. She's also going to talk to us about what led her to founding a gay rights activism club at her school. All right. Yee.
Imagine a society in which you're discriminated against because of your sexual orientation. Imagine being continually subjected to cold stares. Imagine having the government against you. How would you feel? Before I explain the main points of my speech, I would like to share a personal story with all of you. One of my father's close friends, a gay man, before moving to San Francisco, lived in Japan for over a decade. During his stay, he tried to date and have relationships with men, however, could not stand the emotional pain and burden of the unaccepting Japanese society towards same-sex relationships. The personal price that he paid for being a gay man in Japan was to relocate to gay-friendly San Francisco, where he didn't need to face continual discrimination and prejudice because of his sexual orientation. Ladies and gentlemen, what does my story illustrate? My story illustrates a significant social problem that Japan holds today: the lack of acceptance and awareness of the LGBT community in Japan. Japan's lack of acceptance and awareness of the gay community is profound and widespread. As an example, a New York Times article featured a transgender man, Fumino Sugiyama, stating, "We simply want the right to be with the person we love." His simple yet powerful quote reveals the emotional pain and burden the LGBT community endures in Japan as a result of the unaccepting Japanese society towards same-sex relationships. And so, why is there so much resistance in accepting the LGBT community in Japan? Well, the primary reason is because both Prime Minister Abe and the Liberal Democratic Party strongly opposes same-sex marriage in Japan. But before explaining this, I would like to point out that 1 in 20 people of the Japanese population is thought to be gay. That is, ladies and gentlemen, 5% of the Japanese population, which is over 6 million people. And I asked, how many of you have come across openly gay couples in Japan? Probably not many. In my experience, I've never come across any openly gay couples here. My experience contrasts to whenever I visit a gay-friendly state such as California, where openly gay couples are commonplace. And this stark contrast made me realize the impact of the government's opposition towards same-sex marriage. And the problem actually begins with Article 24 of the Japanese Constitution, which states, "Marriage shall be based only on the mutual consent of both sexes, with equal rights of husband and wife as a basis." And notice that the words both sexes, husband and wife, are explicitly stated in the law. By explicitly limiting the scope of marriage between a man and a woman, I think that many of us can agree that this presents a seemingly impenetrable barrier in legalizing same-sex marriage in Japan. However, what is more troubling is Prime Minister Abe's unwavering adherence to Article 24 of the Japanese Constitution. In a Japan Times article, when he was asked to alter the charter to legalize same-sex marriage, his response was, it would require extremely cautious consideration. Prime Minister Abe's comment, therefore, reflects the unaccepting Japanese society's attitude towards same-sex relationships, and therefore hinders the progress of legalizing same-sex marriage in Japan. And moreover, the LDP, a Japan Times article featured a comment by the Liberal Democratic Party. The Liberal Democratic Party stated that no additional measures are needed to protect the rights of gays and lesbians. This, however, is clearly false, as same-sex couples are denied equal rights under the law, ranging from inheritance and pensions to employment and labor law. And so as a result of the government's opposition, members of the gay community may feel humiliated or even resentful of their sexual orientation, which can result in increased suicide and depression rates in the gay and lesbian youth community in Japan. A Japan Times article featured Japan's first large-scale study that focused on the experiences of the LGBTQ community in a Japanese high school. The results of the survey revealed that 32% of the respondents contemplated suicide, and 22% of the respondents underwent self-inflicted torture such as wrist cutting. The results of the survey revealed the amount of oppression the LGBTQ community endures in Japan as a result of the unaccepting Japanese society towards same-sex relationships. And now this brings me to my main focus of my speech, which is how can we as international students do to contribute to the legalization of same-sex marriage? Have any of you have heard a club that promotes gay awareness? The Gay Straight Alliance Club? Well, according to the Gay Straight Alliance Club website, the GSA Club is a student-led club where both the LGBTQ community and straight students unite and support one another. The primary goals of the club are to establish a safe haven for the LGBTQ community, as well as establishing a foundation for activism to combat transphobia and homophobia. And during the process of creating this club, I interviewed my high school principal at the International School of the Sacred Heart in April of this year. And I was initially worried about her reaction of me starting this club, as clearly this topic is controversial and Sacred Heart is a Catholic school. However, I was surprised because she was very open and accepting towards the idea of starting this club. And the reasons for her acceptance towards creating this club was because she thought that ISSH is a very diverse student body. And this directly connects to Goal 3 of ISSH, which is social awareness, which impels to action. And so establishing this club seemed perfectly relevant, as my initiative closely aligns with Goal 3 of ISSH. And to fulfill my goal of spreading the awareness of the LGBTQ community, alongside me, Haruna Komatsu, a senior at the International School of the Sacred Heart, have established the GSA Club at ISSH in September of this year. And I was at first apprehensive whether our club would hold a lot of members, but I was actually really surprised that a lot of people decided to sign up for our club. And our club currently holds 20 people. And the aim of our club is to raise awareness of the neglect and alienation the Japanese gay community faces in Japan within an international school environment such as ISSH. And Haruna and I are in the process of organizing a lot of the events to promote LGBTQ awareness within ISSH. And some of the events that we are planning to organize are as follows. Our main event would be to participate in the Tokyo Rainbow Pride March, which is held at Yoyogi Park in April of next year. And to do this, we are planning to host a series of bake sales to raise money to create GSA t-shirts that we could wear at the Pride March, as well as our school festival, to advertise the GSA Club and promote more awareness of the LGBTQ community. And moreover, we also plan to organize events that acknowledges many of the brutal treatments the LGBTQ community have suffered worldwide. And one example of this is the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is held on November 20th of this year. And this event aims to memorialize all those who have been killed due to transphobia and to call attention to the continued violence the transgender community suffers worldwide. And I mentioned bake sales, but the goods that we were planning to sell will reflect gay pride. So for example, we were thinking of selling rainbow-themed cupcakes as an example of a bake sale good. And in addition to this, we're also planning to distribute flyers that explain the GSA Club's aim as well as the current situation of the gay community in Japan to whoever buys the baked goods in order to spread more awareness within our school. And once Haruna and I establishes a solid foundation of the GSA Club at ISSH, we're planning to collaborate with other international schools in the Kanto Plains to raise awareness. And we found out that ASIJ, the American School in Japan, currently has a GSA Club, and some of the activities or events that they host are as follows. Day of Silence, Coming Out Day, and Ally Week. So Haruna and I were planning to organize some of these events at ISSH as well. And we thought that if the ASIJ and ISSH collaboration proves successful, we can spread awareness to other schools in the Kanto region. And we can therefore hopefully prompt more international schools to start their own GSA club as a way to spread awareness of the LGBTQ in Japan. And consequently, if enough international schools in the Kanto area achieve some level of awareness of the gay community, we thought that this could potentially capture the attention of the political sphere of Japan. And we thought that the GSA Club could launch a letter writing campaign which can be addressed to local wards or Prime Minister Abe or the Liberal Democratic Party. The letters will focus on the current situation of the gay community in Japan as well as what our club is all about and ways that we can spread awareness of the LGBTQ community. And although there is no guarantee that the government will work its way towards lifting the ban, I think that many of you can agree that this could put significant pressure on the Japanese government to alter its ways. And my final point is the importance of being proactive. I cannot stress enough that the worst thing that any of us could do is to just sit idly and be oblivious to the many societal issues around us. And I hope that after my talk, I've demonstrated that even a high schooler could help raise awareness of an important issue by simply starting a club. And I would like to end with a quote by Zig Ziglar. We cannot start over, but we can begin now and make a new ending. Thank you.